If you're in a leadership role today, you know it's not just about managing a team anymore. It's like you're trying to navigate an earthquake. The ground is constantly shifting under your feet. So, the big question is, how do you not just survive, but actually thrive through all this disruption? Well, let's dive in and break it down.
Okay, first things first. We have to accept that the world has fundamentally, and I mean fundamentally, changed. The old rules about corporate stability, about longevity, they're gone. Today, the choice is pretty stark, and it's a message you hear in every single industry. You either change or you will get left behind. It's that simple.
So just how high are the stakes? Well, look at this number, 17 years. That's it. That is the average expected lifespan of one of the world's 500 biggest companies today. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. What used to be a lifetime career at some corporate giant is now barely long enough to get vested in a 401k.
And just look at the speed of this change. It's wild. Back in the 60s, a top company could cruise along for about 60 years. Today, we're talking less than a third of that. And this isn't just about losing a little market share. This is about full-on corporate extinction, happening on a scale we've never seen before. Industry giants, companies like General Foods, General Motors, they were once thought of as invincible. Now, they're cautionary tales.
So, what's the big lesson here? It's that past success guarantees you absolutely nothing. I mean, just look at General Electric. In 1990, GE was the #1 company in the entire world. Today, it's not even in the top 500. The world of business is literally a graveyard of companies that just failed to adapt. So the real question isn't about who's the strongest, but who actually survives.
And that leads us to this. Darwin's famous insight is more relevant to business today than it has ever been. It's not about your size, or your legacy, or even how smart you are. The single most critical trait for survival in this age of constant disruption is your ability to adapt. Period.
So what does this adaptability actually look like in the real world? Well, there is no better case study than the tale of two photography giants. They faced the exact same disruption, but ended up in two completely, and I mean completely different places.
Now, get ready for this, because here's the incredible irony. Kodak, the company that became the poster child for failing to adapt to digital photography, they actually invented it. They were holding the future in their hands, and they just couldn't see it for what it was.
So, what was the big difference between Kodak and Fujifilm? Well, Kodak went all in on the digital opportunity, pouring money into it for 20 years. But here's the problem. Their entire business model was built on selling film and paper, so they just couldn't figure out how to make digital profitable. And when it didn't pay off, they retreated back to their dying core business. Fujifilm, on the other hand, played both offense and defense. They fiercely protected their film business to keep the cash flowing, while at the very same time finding new profitable markets for their digital tech, like in medical imaging.
And this right here, this is the core lesson. The only way to successfully navigate disruption is with a dual strategy. You have to treat it like a threat to your current business. Protect your cash and your customers. But at the exact same time, you have to treat it like an opportunity, investing in the future, even if it means you have to cannibalize your old model to do it. But look, just reacting to disruption is only half the battle. The real goal for any modern leader is to move from being a survivor to being the one causing the disruption. So, how do you actually do that? How do you make everyone else react to you? Professor Brandenburger gives us this fantastic playbook with 4 really creative approaches. First up is contrast. You challenge a core assumption. Uber basically asked, what if a taxi company didn't own any cars? Mind-blowing, right? Next is combination. You merge different things to create something brand new. The smartphone wasn't just a better phone, it was a phone, a computer, and a PDA all smashed into one. Third, you've got constraints. Turn a limitation into a strength. Nespresso couldn't get into retail stores, so what did they do? They built a brilliant direct-to-consumer empire instead. And finally, context. Just take a model that works in one industry and apply it to a totally different one.
But here's the thing. You can have the most brilliant disruptive strategy in the world, but it is completely useless without the right leadership to actually make it happen. And this brings us to the most personal and maybe the most challenging question of all. Why should anyone choose to follow you on this crazy, difficult journey?
And the answer really comes down to one word: authenticity. See, effective leadership doesn't come from pretending to be someone you're not. It comes from a deep self-awareness. People will only trust you, they'll only follow you if they sense that you are the real deal. If they think you're just playing a role, you lose their trust, and as a leader, you're finished.
John Maxwell maps out this leadership journey brilliantly. Think of it like this. We all start at level 1, position. That's where people follow you simply because they have to. You're the boss. But true leadership is about climbing that ladder.
You get to level 2, permission, by building real relationships. You hit level 3, production, by delivering results for the company. Level 4, people development, that comes from investing in your team's growth. And the ultimate goal? That's level 5, the pinnacle, where people follow you not just for what you do, but for who you are and what you represent.
Which brings us right back to the question at the very heart of all of this. It's the question Professor Rob Goffey asks every single leader. And honestly, it's the most important one you will ever have to answer for yourself. What is it about you, your values, your vision, your character, that would make someone willingly choose you as their leader?
So where do you even begin? Well, here are 4 powerful, actionable steps. First, selectively show weakness. It shows you're human, and that builds incredible trust. Second, become a good sensor. Use your intuition to really get a feel for what's going on under the surface. Third, practice tough empathy. This means you care deeply about your people, but you're still willing to make the tough, necessary calls. And finally, capitalize on what makes you different. Don't try to be like everyone else. Your unique perspective is your greatest asset.
And that leads us to our final thought. You know, the natural tendency for all of us is to hire people who are just like us. But think about it. If everyone on your team thinks like you, shares your biases, and sees the world the exact same way you do, who's going to challenge your assumptions? Who is going to see the disruption that you're totally missing? So the question I want to leave you with is this. Are you creating an echo chamber? Or are you building a diverse team with the power to truly see what's coming next?